If you're watching this, you're probably the person everybody comes to get everything right. You know that you should delegate to somebody, but something inside of you just can't. Here's what nobody talks about. This isn't about trust issues or perfectionism. What if I told you your need to control everything around you and in your business isn't a flaw, that it's a survival response? A brilliant mechanism in your brain created to keep you safe. But now that same mechanism is keeping you stuck. And today I'm going to show you why your brain fights you every time you let go. I've been where you are, fighting perfectionism, fighting the urge to keep everything to myself and not delegating, because doing it all just felt safer. I didn't want to risk being disappointed. But there's a massive difference between healthy leadership of your business or your project and compulsive control. So today we'll unpack three things. One, why your past created this pattern and why it's completely normal. Two, the hidden exhaustion it's costing you. And three, how to reframe delegation from trusting people, trusting systems. By the end, you'll see that letting go isn't a personality flaw, it's a learnable leadership skill. Drop a hands up emoji in the comments if this already feels familiar to you. So let's start with the truth. Your control pattern didn't just appear overnight. Imagine growing up where reliabilities from others was unpredictable. Maybe promises were broken. Maybe you learned that if there was something that was going to get done, then it was just better for you to do it yourself. You had to do it yourself. That wasn't a dysfunction, it was an adaptation. Your brain made a deal. If I want safety, I have to be reliable. And it worked. You became the dependable one. Everybody can count on you. But here's the deal. Fast forward to now you're in your business life. And that same drive to do it right that helped you succeed, right now it's standing in your way because you've hit the ceiling. There's only so much that you yourself can do without delegating it to somebody else or some other system or to an AI assistant because your nervous system still equates letting go with something that feels dangerous. Even worse, you've been rewarded for it. You've been told things like, wow, you're just so dependable. You have such high standards. And while all of this is true, you holding everything together alone without delegating is exhausting you. When someone doesn't meet your bar right now, you feel this tension and you feel like, well, I really don't want to go back over what they did. I don't want to have to be responsible for what they did. So I'm just going to do it myself. Now, this is not judgment, that's a protective reflex from all of the things that you've gone through in your past. You're not controlling because you're difficult, you're controlling because you're brilliant and your brain has learned that this is how to keep you safe. But what once protected you is now limiting you to scale your business, to move through to the next space of growth in your business. But here's the cost, there's this hidden exhaustion. And being the one who holds it all together is costing you far more than you actually realize. Every task you handle is something that somebody else could actually handle, costing you mental energy. There's a cost. Every email you send, every detail you have to double check, every task you have to do personally, every follow up you personally manage is using the energy that should be reserved for strategy and leadership. You're not leading anymore. you're functioning as the most expensive task manager in your business. And your team, they have learned to depend on you. They bring you their problems and not solutions. You to solve it all. Because subconsciously, they know and you know you'll fix it because you always have. But they don't develop because you didn't give them room to develop. And you're running on fumes. And a lot of times, you're running on frustration. Even when you take the time off, you're still thinking about what you have to get done. Everything just circles and cycles and builds and layers on top of everything else. And that's the control trap. The tighter you grip, the less freedom you feel, the less control you actually have. Sound familiar? Drop a comment. What's the one thing that you should delegate, but you haven't yet because you really don't want to let it go? Here's the good news. Once you understand your pattern, you can rewire it. You can build systems that let you release control without losing the quality. The real breakthrough happens when you stop thinking that delegation equals trusting people and you begin to equate delegation to trusting systems that you build. It's not about perfect people, it's about predicting your success and creating systems that allow you to be and build a success engine. Systems turn, okay, I hope this thing works, into I know exactly how this is going to happen, what's going to make it work, and how this is going to get done. Here's the shift. Instead of delegating a task and crossing your fingers and hoping that everything works, you delegate a framework. You delegate, here are the constraints, here's the confines. You develop clear expectations, define outcomes, and built in feedback loops. That's not micromanagement, that's actually leadership with structure. Think of it like driving with the brakes. So you're driving your car and it's moving, but every now and then you gotta have a braking system that allow you to stop and be cautious at stoplights. And because you don't expect it to crash because you can stop it. And because you can stop it, you drive with confidence. Systems are the brakes that let you move faster and keep you safe. You're not giving up standards, you're systemizing them. You're not losing your own influence, you're actually expanding it. And you're creating more capacity for yourself to lead better and come up with your strategies and find a strategic way to grow your business. When this happens, your team starts thriving. That's because you have created system and safeguards and bumper guards to allow the systems to do the work. Your brain starts to relax. Your team begins to trust the process. You begin to trust your team. And that's when freedom begins. So, your need of control comes from intelligence, not insecurity. And you've built this pattern because you had to. Now you get to evolve it, how you think about delegation. And letting go isn't about being careless, it's about being strategic with what and where you place your care. If this is home for you, you're ready to let go of control, then I have built something for you that allows you to maintain control, to maintain and delegate in such a way that you don't have to let go of your quality. It's called the Perfection Delegation GPT. It's a chat GPT that is about giving you a personalized experience to help you create standard operating procedures based on your goals, your standards, your business, your mindset, and your business model and what you're trying to accomplish. This app helps you to build systems that maintain your quality, create SOPs or standard operating procedures in minutes and not hours or months. And you get to scale with confidence because You know that you now have a system driving your business. And because of that peace of mind, there's a decrease in burning out and the stress and the strain. Think of it as your personal delegation architect. So it's building and it's architecting how you will actually delegate without losing quality. It turns your chaos into structure. If you've ever said, no one can do it like me, then this perfection delegation, GBT that I've created, will prove that that's not true. They can do it like you because you've built a system to allow them to do it like you. And you've put it into words that allow them to be able to do it like you. Now, if you're interested in this app, you can go to latarciastrategy.gumroad.com and you can look for the perfection delegation GPT. Or you can look below in the comments and you'll see a link to this very specific app that I've developed for you. Because freedom doesn't come from doing less, it comes from systemizing better. And don't forget to subscribe to make sure that you get what you need to grow your business strategically, to think about ways to remove blocks, to help you grow your business in a way that fits who you are, who you've become, who you are becoming. I want you to encourage you to keep going, that there's so much beautiful genius inside of you, and that in today's ever evolving landscape, you have a lot of value. And I just want to tell you, you've got this.